I think it would be a great time to welcome Cindy Boyer. She's the Director of Museums and Education at the Landmark Society here in Rochester, New York. Cindy, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Brenna. Good morning.
Good morning. Your mission is revitalizing yesterday, protecting today, and planning for tomorrow. I love that.
Isn't that great? That's kind of our tag phrase. Our mission gets into a few more words, but that really does describe what we do. We're really interested in helping people understand that historic preservation isn't just about saving pretty buildings from the old days. Mm-hmm. It's really about building a viable community, a more economically sustainable community. That certainly rings true with all the stuff we've been talking about this morning as a need in our community. And it also helps us remember that people are affected by their surroundings. It affects how they behave. It affects how they feel about where they live. It's really kind of what puts the home in Rochester or wherever you live. Is how your environment is.
Just to clarify, Cindy, just so you're basically saying a boarded up home, an old Victorian that's historic, belongs to a historic district or whatever in the historic district, it affects you differently than a nicely rehabbed home. Is that what you're saying in the neighborhood? Okay, just wanted to I think I would feel better also having a home that's redone across the street from me versus one that's boarded up.
Yes, but it's not just about boarded up. It's about sometimes when buildings come down without thinking about what's coming next.
Gotcha.
You know, it's old, it's in bad shape. Let's just tear it down.
Oh.
You know, an empty lot's not all that great either. So
good point.
You really have to think about what your decisions are when you're deciding what buildings you want to keep in a community. Landmark Society has never been save everything. You know, it's not that at all. It's think about your resources. Think about your community resources and what it is that you are saving, what it is you're investing in. I mean, we were saying earlier about when we were having coffee this morning here about High Falls and the wonderful building across the street, which has now got a brand new life and is really helping this neighborhood be a mixed-use neighborhood. We've got people living up the street around the corner in rental properties. You've got businesses. It's really an exciting neighborhood now.
It is coming along quite a bit in the last decade. It's come along quite a bit.
Definitely.
What was that?
We've been watching right out of our studio. You can look right over to the building across the street. And do you know the name of that? Like, does it have a historic name, Cindy?
Well, my colleague Cynthia Hauk is also here with us, and she's the all things architectural. Do you know the name of the building, Cynthia?
It was the electrical power generating plant for when the city was completely dependent upon street trolleys to get around before we had automobiles. So now going from an electric generating plant to something completely new, the offices of Stantec, sounds like a really big leap, but not at all. It's a large space. They wanted offices, and it's been renovated using tax credits to their benefit and certainly to the neighborhood's benefit.
Cynthia, what was that bar that it was in there a few years ago as a hot spot? Does anybody remember?
Saddle Ridge?
It was Saddle Ridge, and then
was that Saddle Ridge?
Jillian's.
It's been a few, and
it's
Saddle
been,
Ridge.
it's been a few things. Yeah, it was Jillian's first.
Okay.
And then it was Saddle Ridge, and they had like 3 or 4, I think, different clubs in there, like a Western club. And stuff. And now it's
cool. Yeah, that's a big space. I remember going in there about, I don't know, 8 years ago or so, 10 years ago.
Back in the day.
And it was, so I can remember the space. It's totally, they've renovated, basically just a kind of little piece of history there. They've put the original windows back in and to the original structure.
Yes, they followed. There's a very practical program that our federal government actually brings us something practical that if you're the developer, you buy the building and it's going to be income producing and it's listed in the National Register of Historic Places, you can get a credit for almost 30% of what you spend on that renovation and then take that credit on your income tax. That has been a huge motivation.
Right.
If you're not terribly thrilled with maybe learning history or you've never thought a lot about architecture, usually finances and money gets everyone's attention. So this has been a real win for the building and for High Falls and the greater community in general. And it's brought more people downtown to work, and hopefully they'll maybe even start thinking about living downtown.
Cynthia Hauk, folks. She's the research coordinator over at the Landmark Society, among some other things. I know there's a lot of different titles to your name, and you do quite a bit of things, but I did want to introduce you to our listenership today as you hopped in on that topic for this building across the street. 222-6397 is our number over here at Property Source Radio. If you have any questions for Pat or I, or if you want to talk to the folks at the Landmark Society. We were going to get into a little bit about the Landmark Society itself. We were going to talk about when it was established and what it actually does in the community, what its purpose is. And would you like to go ahead and take that, Cindy?
Oh, certainly. Well, the Landmark Society started in 1937, so it's actually one of the oldest historic preservation organizations in the country.
Go figure. Rochester has a lot of oldest in the country, only in the country. I mean, we're a pretty unique city. We really are.
We are a unique city, and some people even say that goes back to when we were first becoming a city, 1834, when we were incorporated as a city, and that it was kind of a small group of business people that always worked together and helped each other out. But it does seem like we have been a city for innovative ideas. I mean, Susan B. Anthony, Frederick Douglass, George Eastman,
Sam
Mr.
Patch.
Lush and Mr. Loam, Sam Patch. I love his phrase. His catchphrase was, "Some things can be done as well as others." Unfortunately, Sam Patch didn't do so well on his second jump, as we all know, over the Genesee Falls. And what a lot of people don't know about that, and I know we're getting into Ghost Walk a little later in the program, but we have had a Ghost Walk story about Sam Patch, is that when Sam Patch died in that fatal leap in 1829, the whole city of Rochester kind of felt responsible. They felt responsible because they had paid money to have him do it, and he was a celebrity. It's kind of like if Evel Knievel came to Rochester and we were his last performance place, and he came because we paid him. And because of that, there became this whole religious revival meeting. And the whole community just started saying, well, we don't want to have any performances, and circuses started avoiding Rochester and other performances. So it became kind of a staid place for a while.
Oh.
But, all because I guess we killed Sam Patch.
Sam Patch, Susan B. Anthony, George Eastman, Brenna Hartman. We got it going on.
We do.
Got all this
What
stuff.
about Pat?
That's right, Pat
Pat
Coyne.
Coyne. You forgot about Pat Coyne.
Yes,
No
he's
kidding.
just riding on my shirt tails.
And I'm doing a good job at it,
You are, too.
MCN Stone, they like me over there. The granite countertops.
They do. They know you. They don't know
Couple
me.
exactly.
Nobody knows me.
Yeah. So Landmark Society is obviously more than just about the pretty buildings. We're about the history attached to the buildings and our community, about the things that happen in the different neighborhoods, and we offer a lot of services and programs that help people that live in older homes or work in an older structure. We have a lot of services that are available to folks, or might be interested in that as well. Might be interested in purchasing an older home.
You know what? That's a great topic. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, I want to talk about the Landmark Society, the resources and services that are available to homeowners in this area. So, folks, stay tuned. 222-6397 is our number. If you have any questions, if you're interested in historical preservation, this is the topic and the show you want to stay tuned. We'll be right back.